Hey y'all, welcome back. This is number 9. Want to play a game? You're in one now. The game of life. You wake up one day at the end, realize that while you were out chasing the bag, you fumbled the real fucking treasure. Your health, your spouse, your family, your friends, your soul. It's a game of life. And you didn't even have to chase the bag. According to U.S. code, all your bills are prepaid. What? That couldn't possibly be true. Everybody works. You go to church on Sunday, you say your prayers, and you brush your teeth before you go to bed. Remember, the Lord loves you. Busy, 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 following orders. Those are the rules, right? This is a game. Games have rules. Games like chess and checkers, bingo, tic-tac-toe, Foursquare. Remember Foursquare? Those are all grids, but more specifically because we play games on them with numbers, they are magic squares. Even a grid of 1 by 1, like your telephone, is a magic square. King Alphonse X of Castile, he thought that backgammon was the perfect game because it was the perfect distribution of skill and chance. You don't know how the dice will land, so you must make the best move available with what's available. Chapel used to tell me, Kana, get good at poker and you'll get good at life. It starts when you accept the hand that you've been given. You picked it up. You may as well. You're at the fucking table. Pick it up. Pick up the hand. Look at it. You gonna fold? Are you gonna bluff? Whatever you do, you better ante up, because you gotta pay to play. And don't you want to play? Don't you want a jet and lots of money? Player? Magic squares date back to 190 BCE in China. It's a numerical game, and Hebrew letters are numerical. A set is a grouping of objects, numbers, something that's similar. The Bible starts with 3 sets. These two are identical, and this one is, what is it? A shadow, an echo, like on a wave, form the bottom part. Magic squares can also be made with letters. And the simplest magic square would be composed of rows of letters which spell out the same name or word of power horizontally and vertically, like love. The book of Abra Melon the Mage, said to be divine wisdom from God to Moses, contains many magical letter squares. Among them are squares to know the future, find hidden treasure, to live in opulence, plus the dark arts. That same Moses is the author of Genesis. So of the 9 letters that start the Bible, Bereshit, Bara, we can divide them up in sets, like playing cards. Do you want to do it all 7s? Do you want to do it all spades? Maybe you've got a royal flush. And then we can put our sets in the chart. Cards have an interesting history. In this cool little book, A Deck of Spells, Hoodoo, Playing Card Magic, and Root Work and Conjure by Professor Charles Porterfield, he writes, some of the first printed sermons for which we have printed records were exhortations against playing cards, and the public was told that playing card games led to lying, thievery, drunkenness, and sinful behavior. So wicked and sinister, playing cards were called the Devil's Picture Book and the Devil's Bible. You know how I keep saying your life changed in the 1600s and you don't even realize it? Check this out. In the 17th century, Charles I began granting charters of incorporation to various trade guilds in order to raise money for his foreign wars. A sum was paid for each charter, and dues were collected from the year's trading. In 1628, a group of London card makers received their charter to found the Worshipful Company of Makers of Playing Cards. The Worshipful Company helped stop the entry of foreign cards and regulated the making of domestic cards in the London area. They collected taxes on every deck and saw that they were paid to the king. Starting in 1712, each deck was required to bear the maker's name. The commissioner for stamp duties chose the ace of spades to receive this mark, a custom still observed today. To stop tax evasion, the ace of spades was held by customs and would only be released once the duty was paid. Because of this, forgery of an ace of spades became a capital crime. Those executed for this crime would frequently have an ace of spades placed on or pinned to their bodies. Thus, the death card. Outcries against playing cards did not overlook the game of trumps. In a sermon given by a Franciscan friar in Umbria, Spain, between 1450 and 1470, it was suggested that the trumps were invented and named by the devil's own hands, and that those who game with them will lose their souls to the devil. It is clear from the sermon that the suit of trumps was being considered separately from the other suits in a deck, and that they were being used in gameplay. There is no suggestion in the sermon that they were being employed for fortune-telling or any other magical practices. The tarot's major arcana does line up with the Hebrew alphabet. Of course, we just think that the alphabet is what it is because that's what they told us it is. If playing cards were the devil's picture book, then these Hebrew alphabraic flashcards were God's picture book. And when you place these cards into the magic square, you start to read every single Bible story. All of them. Genesis 1, Genesis 2. Why is there dispensational break? Old Testament, New Testament. Virgin births, divine feminine Eve. The scarlet thread. Sin entering the world. It's all right there. And I only use the first 6 cards because the other 3 are redundant. Magic squares that include repeated entries are not normal. They are referred to as trivial. In these 6 letters, you can also see this is not a God who follows and hides from himself, like the Egyptians believed. Even his shadow is clean. There is no darkness in him. So, have we found our first stair? You're at a crossroads. You have to decide. Peace out.